Thank you so much for coming out on a gloomy, gray night to see some beautiful artwork. Barbara Eisenhardt came to us a few years ago with a wonderful proposal, a great CV, a great resume with all of her accomplishments, and Ben, our preparator and curator, and I were so impressed with the work. We were really excited to see what was going to be produced. So we went to see Barb at her studio a couple weeks ago, and really we were blown away by the work, and we just knew that it would work in the space, and we're just so thrilled to have you here. So on behalf of the board and staff, thank you so much for coming here.
Put it in here.
Make it easy.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, that would be good.
So Barb is interested in doing another talk, and so there's a sign-up sheet with different dates, and if you're interested, please sign up, and we hope to have some more conversations about your work.
A conversation with the artist, it would be kind of casual,
Right.
and, you know, bring your questions and whatever.
Great. So I'll put this over on the windowsill, and you can sign up. Thank you. Thanks, Barb.
Okay. Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for being here. It just means so much to me to see so many people I know and new faces as well. I would like to begin by thanking some people, first of all. And that would be, first of all, my husband, Bill, and my daughter, Patricia. They have been so supportive and so helpful, not just for this exhibit, but for many, many years. So thank you. And my daughter, Patricia, came all the way from California to be here tonight. Wow. So she, took quite a trip. I appreciate it. Yes. Flew all the way here. Flew all the way here. And I would like to thank people on the Arts Council, the Dublin Arts Council. David, of course, you met, and he did take a big chunk of time, along with Ben. They came over to my studio, looked around, and we talked art, and we talked about this exhibit. And I really appreciate the interest and so on. And then also Ben, show him who you are here. Ben hung this entire exhibit. He is so skillful. I'm really, he really made me look good. Thank you, Ben. And he just tied everything together, gave it a very organized, beautiful look. So I appreciate that so much. And Janet. Where is Janet? Janet, I need to thank Janet. There she is, back there. Janet takes care of invitations, getting articles into newspapers, magazines, and probably a ton of other things that I'm not even aware of. And she's a very hard worker and a very pleasant person to work with. So thank you, Janet. Now, I've been asked to tell you a little bit about tonalism. I consider myself a contemporary tonalist painter, a landscape artist, as you could probably guess from what you've seen here. Anyway, a little bit about the history. I won't bore you with anything long, but you really need to know it was a very short period of time. It lasted from about 1880 until about 1915. And it was American. It was truly American. It was the beginning of, it was really the birth of really serious American art. The artists were all born and educated here. They educated themselves as artists here in this country. And the subject matter was also American. So this was really a landmark. Prior to that 1880 period, artists from this country were going over to Europe, and they were studying there. Then they were coming back, and they were painting like European artists. And it was good for a while. The paintings were selling, the galleries were happy. But then I think a certain maturity took over, and they decided that the art had to be clearly American, and it just progressed from there. So that's kind of a little bit about the history of it. The tonalists were considered not realists, but they fell somewhere between Impressionism and traditional style. So it's sort of, you know, a little bit of a crossover.
Could you just, are you saying tonal?
Tonalism. And I'll spell it.
T-O-N?
N-A-L-I-S-M. Tonalism. Okay. So anyway, I think most people are somewhat familiar with Impressionism. Impressionism didn't occur before the tonalist period or after. It occurred at the same time. And so both of these types of painting developed at the same time here in America, American Impressionism. There is quite a difference between the two of them. The Impressionists like their bright colors, bright light. Impressionism is about light. It's painting in the presence of light and the effect of light on things, and capturing that and putting it on canvas. The tonalist, that was kind of different. It was more, the tonalist painters were more concerned about how a painting made you feel rather than what you were looking at necessarily. So while it was still landscape, their real goal was how did it make you feel. So that was kind of a point there. The tonalist painters also produced more finished paintings. Impressionists went out into the field. They painted what's called plein air, meaning what it sounds like, you know, out in the open. And they painted exclusively outside, plein air. And it was usually done at one time. At one time, they didn't bring it back into the studio and rework it. Tonalists, on the other hand, did do that. In fact, I do that myself. I go out, do sketches, oil sketches, bring them back into the studio. And then here's the difference. The tonalist artist uses his or her imagination and his or her memory. Memory really comes into play. And then the sketches. So it's sort of a combination of all of these things and their studio work that's produced. So how do you produce these emotional, you know, these feelings and so on? Well, you do it with, like, sort of similar to the way the Impressionists did it with light. Okay, with light, but it's different. The colors were low-key. The artist makes use of mist, sunsets, sunrises, nocturnes, night paintings, moonlight, things like that. That belongs to the tonalist's manner of working. Let's see, and everything is in the studio. Some people may say, well, you know, are you trying to paint, are you trying to produce, like replicate paintings that the tonalists paint? And that's not what modern day tonalists will do. What we do is we use some of the same principles. We approach it the same way, but we come to it with fresh eyes and with and painting in a way that reflects the age in which we live. That's very important because that's what produces honest art. Very important to do that. So I think that's kind of it in a nutshell. And I think the rest of what I would have to say is really on the walls. And that's about it. Thank you all for coming.